Blog Talk Radio.
January 4th, 2017, and I'm the recruiting animal, back again. You know, in the Bible, that's what I'm going to start talking. I'm going to talk about the Bible. The Bible says that Moses was the humblest of men, the humblest of men. But you know what? That statement in the Bible has caused a lot of controversy, and here's why. Some people believe that Moses himself wrote the first 5 books of the Bible. So if he was so humble, how could he put that in? But I'm going to tell you, I don't know. I can't solve that problem for you, but I will tell you something. I can tell you this. The recruiting animal is the humblest of men. And it's not because I'm so noble. No. It's because everything I do tells me that I have to be humble. For instance, I was interviewed a couple of weeks ago, and you know what? I didn't do too well. If I found, this is what I found, if I hadn't prepared to discuss a topic, I couldn't give a good answer until the interview was over. After the interview, I knew everything. But during the interview itself, I drew a blank, and it wasn't because I'd never thought about the topic before. I thought about it a lot, but I just couldn't relate the question to my mental database, right? For instance, I'll give you an example. I was asked what I thought were my best shows, and I could remember people who I thought were particularly interesting, but when I tried to say why, I didn't have much to say. I started to explain what makes a good show, but you know what? I didn't touch on all the key issues that I have thought about. I thought about that. But my answer in the interview, it's pretty sketchy. And you know what? I know that some people are very quick on their feet. I'm not one of them. But I believe that most people are like me. I know a guy who went out looking for a job a few weeks ago. And, you know, it was in a new industry. It wasn't an industry he'd never worked in before. But you know what? He went out to 2 interviews, and he got 2 job offers right away. And you know why? Because it was for a sales job. And he's trained salespeople before, so he's articulated his beliefs about sales to himself many, many times. And he could just deliver his sales training to the interviewer when he asked him about questions about sales. And, you know, he believed what he said, and he was very passionate about it. And when you hear somebody like that, you want to hire him. So my conclusion is that if you're not quick mentally and you haven't prepared a topic, you are screwed. You can tell that to your candidates before you send them out. So now we're going to see if our guest today is quick mentally or if he's screwed on Jerry. Jerry, what show is this?
The Recruiting Animal Show!
Thank you, Jerry.
Thank you. You've got some weird audio clip out going on. You're peeking.
Oy vey. Maybe it's
sorry, man. You know my expert ears hear that stuff.
I'm glad you said something, Jerry, before he blamed it on me.
Yep.
Who's that? Levy? Levy?
This is Chris.
Chris Wessell, you sound like Steve Levy.
That's all these New York guys, man.
Yeah.
Every single one of them. Once you get into Jersey, that's a whole different crowd.
It is.
Yeah.
Chumps over there.
At least we know we can hear the guest. But before we talk to him, I want to thank as well.
Hold it.
What?
You sound like you're in a bubble. You're like underwater with the.
Does everybody agree with Jerry? Does everybody agree?
Yeah, not only like a bubble, but like you just
Fix
constantly
your audio. Fix the audio.
One at a time. I can't hear everybody. Okay? Can you
You
hear
don't
me?
need to hear everybody, dude. When
Your
I
audio
say
sucks,
something,
dude.
it's a fact.
My audio's no good. Who agrees? Say yes out loud.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's tolerable. We can.
It's
Probably
less
just like a lot of your customers. They'll suffer through it, but it's not what they're looking for. You know.
Okay, I'll sign off in a minute and call back in. But in the meantime, just let me say I want to say thank you to my guests, not my guests, but my sponsors as well. Got the same sponsors. They're back for the new year. Martin Snyder from PC Recruiter and our good friend Nin Tran from Hire Tool. And am I still sounding awful? Am I still
getting there?
Yeah.
Getting a little bit better.
Must have blown out the carbs.
I got it. Yeah. I got to tell you how my New Year started. Okay, 7:00 in the morning on New Year's Day, Maureen starts fighting with me. Really, I'm not kidding. She says, "You got to put this guy, one of her pets. You know, she's got her pets. You got to put my guy on the show." And I said, "I've already got a guest." She says, "You got to get him on." I said, "Bill Vick might take a spot at the beginning of the show. Just give him 5 minutes," she said. I said, "What's so important?" She said, "He's got a scoop for you." A scoop. You know what that is? He wrote an article for ERE, and he's going to announce it on the show. Maureen thinks that's important. A scoop. I said, we don't have scoops on the Recruiting Animal Show. You know what she said? She's laughing now, but she said, "You want me to
I
quit
didn't
the
call
show?
it a scoop
You want me
until
to
much,
quit the
much
show?"
later.
She said, "You want me to quit the show? You don't want to have anything to do with me again?" Okay. He takes it to the max right away. So, I said, "Who's this guy?" She said,
Take it to the wall.
Josh Breckheisen. I said, "I know him. He's a slow talker. He's never going to take only 5 minutes. What would take me 5 minutes is going to take him a half an hour," but I had to give in. So, before we get going, Josh Breckheisen, are you here? Are you here, Josh Breckheisen?
He's here. Do you have him shut off?
Let me see. He probably called in late.
I'm just gonna throw this out there. So my first experience with Josh Breckheisen, loser, no show.
Jerry.
I'm just telling you.
You were going to guess before, Jerry. Where were you?
I opened everybody now. Is he here, Josh Breckheisen?
Yeah, I'm here.
There you go.
I hope he can salvage his reputation.
Well, Maureen didn't tell you have to sing.
reputation.
Maureen didn't tell you have to sing because you're coming on at the beginning of the show. Do you know I Don't Like Mondays?
I do not know that.
Oh, come on. Were you born in 1979? Let me ask you that. Were you born in 79?
I was born in 1979.
There you
You're
go.
already alive. What about the guests? Were you alive in 79?
I was born in 77.
Good.
Okay, so you know I Don't Like Mondays?
That's all I
You
need
know
to
that
know.
Does anybody on the show know I Don't Like Mondays? Does anybody know it?
Yeah.
Cat Manis must know.
It's one of the best songs ever.
Okay, let's sing it. Okay, just the first verse.
We'll sing
Just
it.
Jerry. Okay. 1, 2, 3. The silicone chip inside her head. Come on. Get
I don't know this song.
Twist overload.
And nobody's gonna go to school today. She's gonna make them stay. Come on, Jer.
I don't know this song.
And Daddy doesn't understand it. He always said she was good as gold. Come on, please. And he
I don't
can
know this
see
song.
No reason.
Because there are no reasons. What reason do
reason
you
do you
need
need?
to die? Oh,
Oh. I can do that.
Josh Breckheisen, give us your scoop, okay?
All right, great. So I'm working on an article about talk track angles, and there's two important
Get a new
implications.
phone. Get a new phone, okay?
Okay,
What are you
right,
calling
Metal
on,
Black.
Josh? Josh, what are you calling in on so other people know not to call in on
Apologize.
this?
I did not have my landline today. I'm
Uh-huh.
Okay,
out
go
and
ahead.
about.
Just talk.
What's the name of the article again? I didn't get that.
Neither does the host.
Hey, we got an article going about talk track angles and role definition.
Soft track angles?
Talk track angles for sourcers. So we're talking about phone sourcers. You know, when you go to SourceCon, a lot of times we talk about messaging, and most of the time it's about internet sourcing.
That's right.
We're talking about phone sourcing.
Good.
And so we don't talk about this very often. And it's very unique, especially in the sourcing world. Mm-hmm. And so there's the two important implications are, first, you already touched upon it, Animal. You mentioned going in for an interview, and your friend wasn't, or he had a sales background, so he was prepared before the interview. So first, sourcers need to understand their role, they need to understand their company's role, and they need to understand the role of the person they will be talking to on the phone when they're phone sourcing. Those definitions, as you've talked about, prepare you for success. The other implication is that you can actually control the outcome of the person's responses by their perception of you. If you know your role, then let's say in an interview, you brought that up earlier. In an interview, let's say an interviewer is seen as an authority figure. Well, how does that make a candidate feel?
Uh-oh. What happened?
Rigid, intimidated. Now, if they see you as a friend, they're going to be more relaxed.
So you're saying go to an interview and see the person interviewing you as a friend?
Correct. And
don't tell anybody else that.
I'm telling you, if
the worst thing I've heard today.
That's we don't want to share. Yeah, we don't want to ruin people, hiring managers' authority.
So we call them bro, and give them the skater board sign.
You should
pound it.
Yeah. Pound it.
Okay. Is there anything else? You know, he's coming on in February. I got to tell you, you better
love to talk about it more in detail with you guys.
We're going to destroy you, okay?
I don't want to be a part of it.
Every minute of it.
Did he get cut off?
Don't tell him who I am because I don't want my name associated with what this guy deserves right now.
Did he get cut off?
No,
did he get cut off?
No, he didn't.
I'm right here.
I got cut off.
Congratulations.
What are you talking about, Maureen? Hey, Animal, can I say hi to a new friend of mine, Lisa Velapuff?
Oh, I know.
She's listening.
Okay.
She is a new listener. I wanted to have a good experience with this today. So
she got scolded. She got scolded for posting on your group, on Jerry's group.
No, she didn't.
Yes, she did.
I unscolded that whole deal. I don't need people policing for us. We're a self-maintained group.
Josh, can you wrap it up?
Talk to me.
What's your point? Maureen, I should make Maureen wrap it up. Maureen, what's the scoop here? I missed it. I missed it.
I got cut off. I didn't hear the...
Oh, you got an excuse.
I had to call back in. Go ahead.
Yeah. Okay, Josh, wrap it up for us.
Yeah, just to wrap it up, I think a lot of sourcers don't do phone sourcing because they're scared. They don't know how to approach it.
Also, they don't really even have to because everybody's on the internet.
Exactly.
There's a tip for you.
Yeah. So get off the internet, get on the phone, and let's talk about taking the right approach.
Well, you know what? I got to tell you weren't slow talking today, so you've improved since the last time you were here. That's very good. I like your presentation. I'm looking forward to speaking, Josh, on February 22nd, 2017. Get your tickets now. Okay?
Great. Okay.
Thank you. Thank you, Josh, and thank you, Maureen. Okay, now to our good real guest, Chris Wessell. Now,
is this guy a big biller? Chris Wessell?
Let me say,
is this the first in a series of big billers this year?
Okay, can I just say his Twitter address? Chris, C-H-R-I-S, Wessell, W-E-S-S-E-L-L. Now, there was a famous song that the Hitler Youth used to sing called the Horst Wessel song. It's not related to him, okay? Forget that. Get it out of your mind.
That's a good lead. He's definitely not a Nazi. Awesome.
Yeah.
Okay.
Good.
Now, Chris
already speaking very highly of you.
Yeah, Chris sent me a message this morning. He said, I got into IT recruiting because I liked watching Star Trek reruns when I was a little kid. Is that true, Chris?
Absolutely. Captain Kirk's my hero. And I used to buy parts from Radio Shack, and I used to I was convinced I could build a tricorder out of it. It didn't work.
But you know what? I see a lot of IT programmers on Twitter. They say that the recruiters who called them are guys who weren't smart enough to become engineers. So you were tinkering when you were a kid, but you couldn't become an engineer, so you took second best to become a recruiter. Is that right?
Exactly. Those who can't recruit, precisely.
That's it. Okay. Okay, so you and your partner started your current firm in 2009. You've got 3 recruiters working for you. You get up at 4:15 every weekday morning, and you're in the gym by 5:30?
By 5, yeah.
5 o'clock. Is that your home
in
gym?
In at 5, out by 6. No, nearby gym.
Really? And they're open that early?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
And this is
I'm there when the door opens. I'm there when the door opens.
And the last thing, he sent me a lot of personal information about himself. I keep it bone-chilling cold in my office. Why is that? You're sick.
I always liked it cold. I think it's because I have all this like Scandinavian and Northern European blood. I'm Irish. I'm German. I'm Swiss. I'm Swedish.
There he goes.
I just like it colder.
Okay.
I'm not helping myself in that regard.
It's kind of weird.
Okay.
Now, I like it cold.
Here's what you said about your culture. Nobody usually gives me. In our office, we have fun stuff like air hockey, dartboard, video games, so that between calls we can blow off some steam and relax. I also have one of those globes that open up, and it's full of scotch, and it's got a humidor full of cigars, and you barely ever wear a suit. So when does anyone work at your office? I mean, it sounds like a fun place.
Well, we work. It's just that we don't have to wear suits because our clients are mostly tech companies, and and as far as like the blowing off steam in between calls, by my recruiters, we try to cluster our time, so they'll all be making their calls at the same time, and then they'll get done with making calls for like an hour, and then it's like, all right, let's play a game of air hockey, shake it off, and then get back to work.
How big is your team, Chris?
Just my partner and I, and 3 folks, 3 recruiters. Okay. And I usually have a few interns pretty much every year, but just helping out with basic stuff.
What do they do? What do the interns do?
I have them help with some sourcing. I have them help with some, sometimes I'll have them doing things like scanning notes from recruiters and putting them into the ATS, or maybe doing some reference checks, things like that.
So you get your admin work done for free by these interns. Is that right?
Yeah, works out.
Okay. That's really good training for them in business. What a nice guy. Okay. Now you know what? I looked at you were a star in a film called The Art of Recruiting, and I looked. You're almost as good looking as Jerry. You're a very handsome guy. Does anyone ever come on to you in the business?
That's saying a lot.
Yeah.
Does anyone what?
Man,
does anyone ever come on to you? I mean, your clients or your candidates, do people make a pass at you? Because I saw that girl who was sitting beside you in the movie. She was looking at you with a lot of admiration, okay?
I think I don't know, maybe it's opened a few doors for me here and there.
Okay, yeah. See,
I don't know if you're allowed to ask that stuff anymore, Animal.
But we ask the girls, okay? Do you think it's an advantage?
Oh my goodness, then. Yeah, I need a trigger alert next time you're going to do that, because hey, seriously, dude, there are rules now. And you just can't do that. So
I'm outside.
You.
They'll arrest me when I cross the border, but I don't live in your country.
All right.
Okay.
Be careful.
Yeah. Look. I got to tell you, you've got on your website, you've got a blog, a company blog. It's all bragging. Yeah. Why would you do that? I'm the head of this organization. I'm the head of Shirham in my little town or my little region in upstate New York. Call that a blog?
He's the head of what?
It's not the SHRM chapter for Society for Human Resource Management. It's actually of the 575 chapters in SHRM, it's one of the 18 largest. There's like almost 1,500 members, so it's one of the bigger ones. But the blog section on my website, I felt like at some point I should put something up there, and there's not a lot of interesting content. I'll give you that.
Okay. Do you actually get business by being the head of that chapter? Because Jenny Jenny Devon, actually, she was ahead of some Shearman in Georgia, I think, and I think that really helped.
Well, I mean, I've been active in that chapter for 14 years, and I think that having my certification and being active, I don't sell to HR, but having relationships with and being respected by HR helps grease the wheels.
So you're saying that no HR people, no directors of HR who are members of that chapter have ever given you any business. Is that what you're telling me?
Oh no, I do business with a lot of them. Yeah.
Oh, there you go.
It's not because I'm the president.
He's no dummy.
It's not because I'm the president, but I'm just because I've been involved. So.
Yeah, right. Okay. So you've got 3 staff members besides your partner. Do you train them, or do you hire people? You just hire people who know everything?
No, train them from scratch.
How? How do you train them? Jerry always wants to know the answer to that question.
Yeah, sure. In a couple of cases, they were interns that got hired after they graduated. But usually I'll start them off on. I have them ramp over the course. I don't really expect full production out of them for the first 3+ months, right? And then even then, the growth line that we have them on is it's a little longer than it would be.
Don't be boring. Don't be boring.
I know. I'm boring. I'm trailing up. Okay. I'll start off with.
His germ is starting to show.
All right. I'll start off with. Oh man. So I'll start off with how to source, and I spend a lot of time on that. And what I'll do is I'll have them learn how to kind of tee up candidates for me.
What does that mean? What does that mean?
How to create a list. How to create a list of people for yourself. How to use the different resources that we have.
Okay,
to build yourself a list of people.
You know what? You think about it for a minute. I'm going to do my first ad. But we just had Josh Breckheisen on, who's a smart guy. He's not dumb, okay? And he told us that most people don't want to use the phone. So I'm going to guess that you don't teach your interns or new people how to use the phone. You teach them something else. You think about it while I'm doing my first ad for my wonderful sponsor, PC Recruiter. Now, Martin Snyder, he's the boss over at PC Recruiter, and he posted something on my Facebook group the other day. He said that when he interviews someone, he always asks them about their biggest screw-up. And, in fact, the word he used was not screw-up. I'm bowdlerizing that, okay? I'm making it nicer than it was. But he said he gets them to answer sometimes by talking about his own screw-ups. You know what? I'm sure he has screwed things up in the past, but you know what? PC Recruiter is not one of those things. PC Recruiter was not screwed up. And you know why? Because PC Recruiter is built with love. PC Recruiter is built with love for every kind of recruiter. They don't care if you're a headhunter or a corporate recruiter or a temporary staffing specialist. PC Recruiter loves you. And, they make recruiting software that's made for you, no matter what kind of recruiting you're into. So let me say it again. You won't find Martin Snyder playing favorites because PC Recruiter loves everyone, and I want you to remember that. So check them out at PCRecruiter.net, and you might just love them too. Thank you.
Chris, what ATS do you use?
I use CATS. I've used that for a few years. It's decent. I mean,
hey, Jerry, are you trying to screw things up? I just talked about this.
No, you were talking about ATS. What?
Yeah, okay.
I'd take sorry for being relevant, dude.
I'd take a look
at keeping the conversation going.
I would take a look at PC Recruiter, though. I haven't used it in probably 10 years. I'm sure a lot's changed, but I would take a look at it.
That's not a plug, okay?
There you go. That's a lead. That's a lead for Martin.
No, that's a.
You need to thank me later, Martin.
I used to use it, and I'm sure lots of things have improved. That's not a plug, okay?
I can't tee it up any better for some of these people out there.
Okay. Listen, no. Here, I'm going to change the question I asked.
I've got a question.
No, I got a question. What kind of training did you get when you started out?
What kind of training? I worked for a small firm where I was basically the second employee. So a lot of it was kind of on the fly. And then 2 years in, I went to a pretty large national.
Hey! When you say on the fly, I don't know what that means. Why don't you tell me?
Sure.
Okay.
I don't think at the time I knew either. I think basically it was like a staffing firm that consisted of one person, and then I was the second person. And I pretty much. Trying to think of how it played out, really.
I've given you 5 minutes already, and you haven't answered that question. Did you think of an answer?
That's a different question. Do you want? I
go
can
to
answer
the other
one.
question.
Yeah.
Go back to
Absolutely.
the other question.
Sure. Yeah, no, I start them off on how to source, how to get a list of people to call, and you mentioned.
How?
Sure. Well, we got different resources. So the low-hanging fruit is job boards. I'm not going to not use them. I know it sounds cool to say online I'm super sourcing ninja and I don't use job boards.
Which job boards?
Yeah.
Which job boards?
I got access to Career Builder, Monster. I scrapped Dice because that was too much noise. Ladders. Sometimes I find people in. There's a couple of like local boards, that kind of thing. So, what I usually do though is I'll have my interns kind of just scraping those boards regularly for anybody who kind of falls into the buckets that we recruit for, because we focus mostly on technology jobs, which could range from software to like IT. So if certain types of profiles pop up, they're funneling those into our database. So my recruiters are usually building the lists off of the CATS database. They're doing their searching in there. They're calling those folks.
I have a question. Why did you scrap Dice?
What did I what?
Sorry, I'm
Why did you scrap Dice? Why did you?
I scrapped Dice because the interface, the interface turned into garbage in my opinion. In what way? It was in the sense that I didn't like the interface because it was hard to whittle down like you can in some other boards to candidates that were actually relevant. I don't know. I'm not articulating it well. I know you're going to skewer me for it, but I found that most of the people that I did find in there were a lot of like the typical like recruiter bait bogus resumes in there, and there wasn't a lot of anybody that wasn't already in other places. It wasn't really worth the like.
What's a recruiter bait resume? What do you mean?
I know you know what they are, Jerry. So that's
no,
where
I don't. I'm not out there. I'm not a Dice.
Sure. Well, I mean, and they're on Career Builder, they're on Monster too, but basically the resume where it's not actually somebody, it's just, you might have seen, sometimes you'll search and you'll find the same exact resume under like 7 different names.
Okay.
Yeah, that type of stuff. You
like
call up and
LinkedIn.
Yeah, or you look at, even if you look at the email address and it's not even that person's name, it's some other dude's name or whatever, and you're like, all right, so I'm going to end up talking to your handler. And
are there could that be considered H-1B, false lead, spam crap?
Yeah, I mean, in the like corp to corp type of perspective.
Can I follow up on that, Jerry? I was wondering because I haven't been.
Yes, you
can,
Kathy.
Thank you. Are you guys finding a bunch of that sort of thing where you're finding a lot of H-1Bs that are? You think you found a great resume and then you end up going to their quote handler, which I think is a great title. Are you still finding that a lot out there?
I find that one of the things I found is I've gotten better over the years of spotting that, so I don't waste my time as much, but I still see a lot of it out there. Yeah. Like when I do search results, you can whittle through those pretty quick. You can, there's telltale signs like the first name, last initial, forget it. Tons of bolding, vague degree, no work history like here in the U.S., no, the email address is something generic or another person's name altogether, or you've just, there's patterns that you start to see.
Going back to your Dice, sorry, because I'm curious. We just renewed Dice. Do you feel that Career Builder is a better resource for a technology perspective than Dice? And also, because this is my first time here, is anybody else feel that way that recruits in the New York City market? Because I'd scrap it next year if I got an overwhelming opinion of that they felt those other boards were better.
I mean, I was finding that Career Builder was a much better source for it for the stuff that I've been working on. Yeah, and my footprint is pretty much. What's that?
Is that Lisa who's talking to you? I don't know who's talking.
That's Lisa, yeah, sorry.
Hi, nice
Our new friend, Lisa.
How much do you pay for Career Builder? Do you want to tell us that, or would you like to keep it confidential?
Off the top of my head, it's several thousand. I don't know the exact.
Thanks. You know what? Maureen told me this morning she wants me to call her Money Honey again. I said, start asking the money questions, and here I have to ask them myself. Okay? Want me to call you Money Honey? Ask them how much it costs.
I do. I always like that name.
Let
But
me be the
Kathy
good guy.
asked before,
Yeah.
and I'm thinking Kathy might be the new money honey. She wanted to know how much you're being paid for these ads.
Can I be a money honey, or is that just another sexist way to think about only women can ask about money?
I don't know, Jerry. You like
I'm
that?
I'm very
money
sensitive to this stuff heading into this new year, and I want to.
Okay.
I want to.
Are you embracing that?
Yeah, well, yeah. I just want to be right.
That part of yourself now?
I don't want to be. I want to be
Okay.
killed.
You know
Okay,
what?
Chris, I've got a question.
No. Okay,
Yeah.
go ahead. Go ahead, Jerry.
You've reached the top of the profession. How do you stay motivated? Because you don't have to work today. Let's face it. You don't have to be there. You could be anywhere you want. You could be at the Ritz in Cuba right now if you wanted to. Why are you doing it?
Well, I always got bills to pay, but I like doing it. One of the things that I mentioned in my kind of notes to Animal beforehand was I like the storytelling aspect. I like painting a picture. I like, when I'm talking to somebody and I'll articulate an opportunity to them and explain to them about the company, and and then I'm turning around and kind of painting a picture to the client of that person. I don't know. I like that. That's
that's
the
a
part
non-answer. I got to tell you, on the Recruiting Animal Show, that is a non-answer. That should be the introduction. Let me give you some examples, Jerry. This is what storytelling means, because that's exactly what I thought when I read your email to me. You like storytelling? What's that? Okay. I'm going to do another ad, and then you'll come back and tell me what you mean by storytelling. Take a minute to think about it, okay? Now, I want to talk to you about Hire Tool, and I'm going to have to spell that company name. Hiretual. Hiretual. They're the new sourcing tool in town, and trust me, they are getting rave reviews.
Reviews.
Yeah, they are. I mean, I'm not making it up. They really are.
He's
people
not.
I respect, they like this tool. When I first heard about it, though, the people were raving only about its ability to find contact information. So I thought it was a tool that just brings out email addresses. But boy, was I wrong. I did a demo with Nin Tran, and he showed me the full array of their suite of tools. I just have
this thing eats LinkedIn's lunch.
Yeah, okay, you say anything against LinkedIn.
You hate
okay?
LinkedIn.
Maureen,
Your bias is showing, Maureen.
Yeah, they're your big competition. You don't use any of these sourcing tools, so I don't know if you should plug them, okay? But I'll say, this tool builds search strings for you. If you're stupid and you can't build your own, or if you just want to be practical and not study, okay? It builds you the search strings for LinkedIn, Facebook, and GitHub. And it also tells you in the results how close a match the people who come up are for your position. And it estimates their salary as well, okay? So Maureen doesn't use it, even though she makes it sound like she does, okay? Maybe you should start using it, Maureen. Put down that phone. Everybody says pick up the phone. Maybe it's time for you to put down the phone.
Yeah.
Maybe it is.
Yeah, start using
Name the company again. Get it.
Hiretool.com. Hiretual. Hiretool.com. And if you go there, you can get their free Chrome extension and sample it out before you decide to move ahead. Okay.
What's the name of it again?
Hiretool, Jerry.
Hiretool?
Spell it.
Hiretual. Okay, I want to ask what storytelling is. I always see people, they talk about storytelling, they talk about relationships. I never know
Animal,
what
while he's still thinking about that, though, can you finish or let him finish his answer when he was talking about he has his interns do the low-hanging fruit, which is your job. Which is your job board. That was just his first pass, easy sourcing thing. Give us some other tips on how you source outside of the job board stuff. Let him finish the answer is what I'm saying.
I hope
do you want me to go back to that one, or do you?
Yeah, would you?
All right,
if
sure.
Because that's more relevant than an example of him telling a story.
Okay.
And then I can get to that one.
God.
So there's a lot. So there's other tools that we'll use to gather names, right? For example, LinkedIn's an obvious one. I don't use InMails, I don't use LinkedIn messaging, but You get names and you get.
Why?
Well, my feeling on it. Sure, no problem.
We all
my
know
feeling,
why, dumbass.
Because let's say you sign up.
I thought I was on mute. Sometimes I sit here and I think.
Let's say you signed up for LinkedIn, a few years ago because someone sent you an invite, you never check it. Who's to say you even check the email account that's associated with your LinkedIn account? Or I could send you a message and I could cross my fingers and hope someday it gets to you. Maybe you open it. Maybe you have your notifications turned on. Maybe you didn't change email addresses or companies since then. You had your company email hooked up to it. Or I got your company name. I got your name. I'll just look up your number and I'll call you. Or at least, if I'm not going to call you, or I could figure out your email format and shoot you an email directly at work. Take it out of the LinkedIn forum as quickly as possible.
Okay. So next, keep going. Answer Jerry's question.
Sure. And similarly, I'll get names from I think it's called data.com, but I still type in jigsaw.com when I go into my browser.
I do too. Jigsaw.com.
Yeah, I've been typing. I think it's Salesforce.data.com or something like that now, but I still call it Jigsaw.
There, yeah.
I've been using Jigsaw for a long time. Actually, one of the things I like about Jigsaw that they changed, it used to just show you, because now you can see the name and the title and the company, and the only thing you have to click for is the contact info. It used to be more shrouded in that. And if you've been using it for a while, you probably remember that. It wouldn't even give you the name; it would just give you a title. And
I love it now. But
now I'm now I really don't need to do this all. And you know what I'll do is I'll grab all that info, get 100 results from it or something like that. I'll give that to an intern and I'll say, all right, get me email addresses, and then they'll figure that out. I got a whole.
I'm glad I dumped all of my LinkedIn contacts in there before everybody else did, because then I got the 50,000 points or whatever.
Oh yeah, no, I definitely have a lot of that too. Yeah.
Isn't it better just to pay? Isn't it more practical to pay the fee than to take all the time figuring it out yourself? The contact information.
Number one, I'm not figuring it out myself. I'm someone else is doing it for me, so I'm leveraging someone else's time.
Yeah. Okay.
But I'm also leveraging some economies of scale too, because a lot of those company addresses I might already have the formats for because I save all of them. So I've got Excel sheets of let's say I'm targeting certain types of companies. There's overlap, so we might already have that accounted for. So.
See, this is valuable insight, Animal. Your whole show format needs to change this year, and I'll work with you on it. But
that's what Maureen told me too. When she read the quit. Okay, go ahead.
Yeah,
keep going.
You should.
Sure. So that's one. Trying to think of where else I look.
So then, do you email them first? Do you call? Are you on the phone much?
Actually, we're really phone centric. Our approach is to try the phone first.
Okay.
In fact, the recruiters have to make at least 100 calls a day. So, this is a lot of, and one of the things I train them on, to talk back to that topic, is we enter a conversation. It's more of like a networking call, right? It's more of the not the, hey, I have a position to pitch you, but hey, we're a technology staffing firm. We're in Albany. You're in Albany. You're a network engineer. We're looking for people like you all the time. Let's talk.
How many connecting calls out of those 100 do you require daily?
Great question.
That's a really good question, because I don't think that I actually specify that.
Because, that's how I was trained. I had to make 50 connecting calls where I really spoke to a real person, and I had to write the outcome.
Well, the way that I do it, and maybe
50?
Yeah.
Wow.
There might be some overlap there with the way I approach it. I might just be calling it something a little different. So X number of calls, 100 calls a day. I want them to be adding, and what we refer to as an intake, 10 people into the database that are viable, that we could actually use for the types of positions we work on. They might be someone we could use right away, or they're just somebody that we definitely there's certain buckets. There's kind of a matrix they're recruiting to based on the types of roles we usually work on.
They actually talk to them is my question.
Yes.
Or are they just okay?
Yeah. Well, yeah. If you were to do if you were going to do an actual complete intake, you would have had a conversation with somebody. You would have gone through. It's not really a script. It's more like talking points, so that the conversation's a little bit more natural. But just you can sit down at my desk and say, all right, I got somebody. I got the software engineer. Great. Tell me about him. What's his deal? Where's he working? What's he making right now? What's he looking to do? What that kind of stuff.
Your metrics are 1 out of 10.
What was that?
Testing.
I'm sorry. I keep missing the first part.
So your metrics from your recruiters or your interns is 1 out of 10.
I guess that. I guess that would be accurate to say it that way. Yeah.
Brilliant. Kevin.
And because we try to, I try to measure them based on what we can control. And I'm no management expert too. Like when we started this firm, I'd never really managed anyone before, so I'm figuring this as I go along. But I can only go back to how I was managed, if what I can remember. But I try to go based on what they can control. You can control how many dials you make. You can control how many people you talk to in a day. You can't control things like.
No, you can't.
Yeah,
no,
you can dial the phone more. Absolutely. No, you didn't talk to enough people. Call more people.
Yeah.
100 calls. 100 calls is already absurd. Okay. 100 calls.
No, 100 calls. My recruiters have 100 calls done by 10:30 a.m.
What are you going to do with the rest of your day?
Well, so that's a good.
Are you finding that it's much harder to find phone numbers now, or is that just a bias that I've got, and it's just as easy to find phone numbers today as it was 30 years ago, or 20, or whenever you started?
I don't think it's too tough to find phone numbers. I mean, you're either calling off of one of two primary sources. We're either calling off of a resume, so we have a number from that, or we're calling off of, we saw your name, you work at X company. Company's phone number is not too hard to find. And a lot of times, too, like we'll do a lot of technology jobs, but we also work on a lot of technology sales jobs for our clients, and salespeople are really easy to find. I mean, they make themselves
You leave voicemail.
available.
We're going to get back to Michael Cox. Michael Cox, I'm not going to let him evade your question, but do you leave voicemail? Do you leave voicemail?
Absolutely.
Yeah?
Yeah.
What does it sound
First
like?
time or third time or after 10 or just whenever it feels right?
We leave a voicemail each time. But like, let's say you got a list of people. Our approach would be, I'm going to call them, or a recruiter's going to call that list on Monday, and then the people we didn't get a hold of, we're going to try and make it on Tuesday. We're going to try them one more time on Wednesday, and then we're going to, maybe roll that list, push that off for like a week or so, and we'll take another swing at a couple days.
So you leave 3 voicemails. Every time you call, you leave a voicemail.
Yes. Right. The first one will be more introductory. The next.
Give us the voicemail. Say it right now.
Dude, we really got to work on your tone and approach, Animal.
Don't mess with me. I got to fight you guys to get a
hold
word
on.
edge by.
Hey, Chris, can you give us just a sense for what some of those messages sound like?
Let's do it.
Yeah, absolutely. So when we'd call somebody and say, hey, my name's Chris, I'm a recruiter, and let's say I'm calling somebody in Albany area, right? Because I try to identify, because IT people get called by a lot of recruiters from all over the place, so I figure it's a selling point to let them know that I'm local and I'm down the road from them. So my name's Chris, I'm a recruiter calling you from, I'm in Albany. Oh man, I'm usually better at this. So.
You're freaking out, aren't you?
Yeah, it's funny. Like you do this all day long.
You're doing a great job. Really,
you're doing a great job. This is much bigger than just Albany right now, Chris. This is global.
Oh, I know. I'm well aware.
Make him sweat, Jerry.
That's right. I mean, the first call will be something along the lines of, my name's Chris. I'm a recruiter in Albany. I'm looking at working on some front-end web development jobs. Came across your resume. Wanted to have a conversation with you. Give me a call back. My number is blah, blah.
How many callbacks? What percentage?
Probably
20.
15, 20 is probably. I mean, I'm thinking, I don't know. I'll tell you. What's that?
And by the third message?
By the third message, we hear back from about half of them, of the ones that are left. And part of the reason for that.
Let me interrupt. The more messages you leave, the higher your callback rate goes?
I don't have exact measement on it, but I feel
that's what you're saying.
Yeah, all right, that's fair. I feel like
that's what he was
most
forced
of the people
to say, Maureen. It wasn't really a voluntary stat he brought with him.
My feeling is that, and maybe it's anecdotal, but in my experience, a lot of times I have to call people 2-3 times, and some recruiters might give up and be like, well, if they really are interested, they'll call me back after the first time or two, and I've had timid people like that have worked for me. But then I've had people that I've tried 4 or 5 times, finally got them on the phone, had a conversation with them, got them in front of a client, and made a placement out of it. So there's a certain degree of persistence that has to happen there. I don't have like a measurement of at what stage what happens. I wish I could tell you that I did.
Okay. How do you measure the number of times people are calling?
Shut it down. We covered it.
No, don't shut me down. I'm curious about how you measure how many times people connect with people on the phone.
He obviously doesn't.
Well, no, that I have
the question and then come back to me.
Okay. So they're recording calls in the ATS when they talk to someone. They either record it as left message, talked, and so they categorize it. So I don't have a handle. I don't know the percentages of how many they talk to necessarily, but I can look at here's conversations. Josh talked to 27 people this morning, and 6 of them turned into intakes, etc. Is that kind of what you mean?
Yeah, that's great.
Okay.
So
now,
I have a question.
No.
Yes.
There's a backup question.
Let
There's
her.
a backup.
Let her. Open the show up this year. It's not the animal show. It's the recruiting show. These are recruiters asking questions.
It's the recruiting animal show.
You've got an actual guest here.
Hold on. What about Michael Cox? Are you prejudiced against him because he's Hispanic? Okay.
Wait, what? What?
Michael Cox question 10 minutes ago, and I asked a question 20 minutes ago about storytelling. Neither of them have been answered yet.
Nobody wants to hear the storytelling question, dude.
Let's have Michael
It's one of your
Cox's
lamest questions out there.
Let's have Michael Cox's question.
No, hold on.
To talk about it.
I didn't have a question. You were saying 100 calls is ridiculous. I was thinking, what are you going to do with the rest of your day?
Oh yeah, no,
okay.
I can.
Let him answer that.
I can answer that too. It got caught up in the noise.
It's called a rhetorical animal.
Yeah, it was completely.
Do you have rhetoric out there in Canada?
So well,
I got to tell you,
it wouldn't.
We have bullshit detectors, and I don't believe you can make 100 calls in an hour and a half.
Well, you can leave 100 messages for sure, but here's the thing.
No way.
Guys,
if you're a machine,
I just have
if you're a robot.
Wait. I have a quick question. I have to leave, but you guys market as well, so your recruiters could do their calls half the day and do marketing the other half of the day.
Well, they're not full desk. The business development's all myself and my partner.
Okay.
A lot of what they're doing the rest of their day though is they've got candidates in the interview process. They're dealing with logistics of background checks or drug tests, or they're getting them, getting them their debrief from a previous interview, or they're getting them set up for another interview.
Okay, so that's interesting. Jerry asked you that question a half an hour ago about your staff, about your staff, and you didn't say that they only are limited to certain aspects of the job. You said, I've got 3 recruiters. Okay, we just assumed they did everything. That was your opportunity to tell us exactly what they do.
I didn't make that assumption. I know what recruiters do.
Yeah,
how many details do you want to know on? You want to know how tall each of them are, too?
How do you do business development? Okay, no one tells us that. You're in a position to tell us. Besides your contacts at your Shuram Society, how do you do business development?
It's not where I get most of it, but it does help. I'm not I would never call myself a salesperson. I'm kind of one of those people when I started a firm, you're like, hey, we're going to have a recruiting firm and we're going to fill jobs, and I know have a few relationships, and then all of a sudden you're like, oh crap, now I'm a salesperson. I didn't really realize that I was, but now I have to be. So a lot of it's kind of organic. I mean, I'm very fortunate that I'm at a point where I get referrals a lot, but I do some prospecting where you can go for the low-hanging fruit of there's postings out there, and you reach out to companies and say, hey, I see you're looking for a network engineer. Would it make sense for us to sit down and talk about that? All the way to
what if they say no? I've got another agency I work with. What do you say?
If they've got another agency they work with, how's that working out for you? I mean, are you getting the results that you're looking? Are you getting the results that you're looking for? Sometimes they are. And one thing I found is this is like a sword you live and die by. Sometimes they've got their person that they'll only use no matter what. And I've been that person, but I've also not been that person. And there'll be a changing of management, and I wasn't the guy, and now I am the guy. So that sometimes happens where they just have their person that they like to as their go-to.
So you can turn people around. So you are successful at turning people around who say at first, "I don't want to use you." Is that right?
Yeah. I mean, I've had that happen before, where initially there was resistance, and some variables changed, and now they use us. And it's worked the other way too. On the same call, you get somebody on the phone. He said, "Listen, Chris, I don't need you." And you say, "Well, do you have somebody you're using now?" They say, "Yeah." And you say, "How do you like them?" And they tell you, and then somehow you turn that into them using you on the same call. Does that ever happen? Yeah. No, and that happens. Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't say I don't ask them. I ask them more how is it working out in terms of what they're getting the results they're looking for. Not necessarily. Yeah. I don't want to make it sound like I'm knocking the other person because that's not going to get me anywhere. But I say, you know, are getting the results that you're looking for.
What? Sometimes they 50% of the time, or 75% of the time, or let's say they say 90% of the time, I'm happy with the people they send me. So you got a 10% gap there. Are you going to take advantage of that, or just say, well, nice talking to you?
I would like to talk about that 10%. I'll say, what do you have trouble with? Let's talk about those roles.
Okay.
And would it make sense?
Will you push to go away with a job order at the end of that call?
I mean, push is a relative term. I don't know. That's a shitty answer. Sorry, I swore.
I would hate getting a marketing call from you, Animal.
You know what?
I'd hang up on you, dude.
I'm the only guy here who pushes for real answers. Okay, that's why you don't like me.
No, you're the only guy here that doesn't actually seem to have experience with calling companies that say no. I mean, that's and being able to just fish your way through that discussion based on what they're telling you and how you
Jerry,
feel.
What would you say? What would you say?
Jerry takes no for it. Jerry says he spent 25 years taking no for an answer. I don't believe it. Okay?
No, nearly 30 years.
I don't either. I don't think
Animal.
he'd be in business today. What, Jerry?
I do take no for an answer.
Not everybody's going to say yes, and you can't work with everybody. If you can't work with everybody too, because where are you going to get?
But most people say no, Jerry.
Yeah,
and then some don't. And I work with the ones that don't, Maureen.
But
badgering somebody into a corner
no's,
like Animal apparently does is not my style.
Yes, Jerry, and you know this. Some no's mean yes.
No typically means no. So.
Well, sometimes
no means
the no's
no.
because they have a
Which no's mean yes, though? I'm curious about that.
Right.
Well, maybe the no's where they're based on an assumption if they think that it's going to. I don't know. Maybe
so
they have bad
no,
experience.
Jerry, you just say, okay, bye.
You need to find out if it's a no way in hell, or if it's a no, not right now, or if it's a no, check back, or if it's
sure.
Not really. Maybe I don't know.
Okay.
Maybe I can't give you the yes or no. Here's the person who can.
Okay, great.
This is
Jerry,
the stuff that
Jerry,
you figure out over
question?
Time, Maureen.
Jerry, some no's
I got
yes?
my people I check in.
No,
with every,
some no's do not mean yes. They mean you need more information.
God, you just
I have
won't
to do another ad. I have to do another ad.
What would I know? I barely know anything. Sitting here in my stretchy pants, looking out my basement window.
Look. And now a word from our sponsor, PC Recruiter. Everyone is claiming, everybody says that text and social media are the hot new forms of communication. But everybody really knows that email rules the roost. Yes, it does.
That's right.
And PC Recruiter handles email the way you want it handled. It works with your mobile phone accounts, and it always shows you you're connected, you're sent, and received email from every candidate and hiring authority. And you know what? They've got all kinds of tips and little previews about how their software works. 2-Minute Tuesdays. Go to YouTube. Quiet. Go to YouTube. Jerry.
You mostly do contracting?
Jerry. Just give me
what? I'm just trying to get some more.
10 seconds. Let me finish the ad. Don't make me fight. I will. Okay? It'll wreck the show. Just back off. Go to YouTube. Put in 2-Minute Tuesdays, and you'll see all kinds of tips about how to use PC Recruiter at PCRecruiter.net. Thank you. Okay, now that you finally let me finish, go ahead, ask your question. And before this day is over, I want to know what storytelling means. But you can answer Jerry's. Go ahead.
Jerry,
so I take it you're mostly in contracting then?
Yeah, 50-50, maybe 60-40. Yeah, it's a lot of it's contracting, but for whatever reason, a lot of perm lately. It's weird, but this is also a kind of unusual market. I feel like, my footprint's kind of like upstate New York, like north of the city. You get some employers that, when you're in major markets, I feel like it's more sophisticated. They're used to contracting, and other, like smaller markets, they're more prone to direct hire, which doesn't really make sense. But it's a bigger check they're writing. But if that's all they want to do, I'll still take it. You know?
Yeah. Okay, cool.
Did we talk about industries? What industries you're working?
Oh, sure. Technology-related positions mostly. So anything across the technology gamut from like IT, like on the infrastructure side of things. Like I'll have temps out there doing like deployments or things like that. I'll have network engineers, that kind of stuff. The other side of technology, I'll have like software people, but also like business analysts, project managers, QA, that kind of stuff where business and technology kind of...
Okay, you know what? I watched a little of your movie, and you said, I'm pretty sure you said that sometimes CEOs will call you up and say they want to hire new staff just to shake up their culture. Did you actually say that? Can you tell us a story? Because I've never heard that before. And if nobody interrupts, we might get an answer, okay?
Can I just, before he answers, can I just say, Chris, I would understand if that would be something that was just written into your script for the movie and that it didn't really happen. So you could just say, hey, I was a paid actor or whatever, and we would understand.
I was giving you that out. It wasn't a paid actor. I think it actually worked the other way.
Well, when they say culture, do they mean they want to shake up their employees?
Why does it? The guy was going to answer 5 minutes ago. Just let him, please.
I'm just saying, many of us have said things on camera that weren't real. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, I don't have a good story ready for you on that one. I'm sorry.
See?
Then where did
I tried to give him an out, dude. You have to give your guests room to still leave feeling comfortable about their performance on your show, and you don't. You corner these people.
Look, you challenged his credibility, and he kind of couldn't come up with a real story. So it sounds like he never done it.
I didn't mean to. I tried not to. I'm sorry.
Do you have recruiter voice? Do you talk the same at home as you do on the phone?
Do I sound? I think I sound the same all the time.
Yeah. Okay.
You have one of those voices. I called it an ASMR voice on Twitter. It's nice to listen to. It draws you in.
He has a good voice.
You have a good voice.
I'll give him that voice.
Maybe that.
But you also said in the movie that you don't believe in selling ice to Eskimos. You don't believe in pitching people. You believe in consultative selling. Okay. What does that mean?
Absolutely. Well, are you talking about the selling side, whether it's the selling side or the recruiting side? Which were you talking about? Like,
you tell me.
I'll give you an example. I'll tell you what I meant. I'll tell you what I meant in the context of that. I'll answer the question in the context of what I was saying in the movie. You get recruiters who will call up somebody and say, I got a perfect job for you. Well, how the hell do you know what the perfect job for that person is? You haven't even talked to them yet, right? You don't know anything about them. Hey, I'm working on some, web development positions. I know you're a web developer. Talk to me about what you're doing right now. What kind of positions you're looking for. I'll give them a general idea of the type of role I'm working on, but I'm not going to give them a ton of details, especially because sometimes I have a handful of different ones because that's all we work on. But you got to find out what they're looking for and what their hot buttons are. Like if you try selling that it's like selling the money aspect of the job, but the money part's not that important to them, or if you are, and it turns out in having a conversation with them that their, family time is important, and it turns out this job you're talking to them about is half an hour closer to their house, that's a selling point, right? So you got to have some idea of what their I don't want to say hot buttons. It sounds cliche, but you have to have some idea of what's important to them before you can really pitch an opportunity. Otherwise, you're just
how in a conversation would it come up about the commute? How do you ask specifically? Are you happy with your commute? Do you ask that question?
Well, not specifically the commute, because I feel like what we end up doing is we ask them about what they like and what they don't like about the role that they're in now, as well as or if they're not working right now, maybe their last role. And usually it comes up then. I mean, there's a myriad of different things you could ask them about, so I don't have a long list of it. But if they mention it, it's probably important.
I heard enough of that. Anybody have any questions? Other questions? I got a ton of questions. We didn't really get to them. Show's over now. You'll have to come back another day. But
I'll be back.
That'd be great.
People are saying I'm not answering. Anybody got more questions? Anybody got a question? Because
I have a question.
Go ahead.
What do you do if client doesn't want to pay?
Client, oh man, do we have enough time to cover that in a minute? If a
you can
client
do it
doesn't want to,
show, Jerry.
Who's asking this question?
Somebody asking about Jerry Kleeman in Chicago? Huh? Did I just hear her name?
That's a good question. I mean,
have you
who's
had
asking
the
this question?
I have experience where I've had. What?
Who?
Hey guys, just let him answer the damn question.
So I've had it happen both on the contract side, where because since I factor my payroll, if something gets past a certain point, it gets charged back to me, and that's problematic. Especially because I haven't had a charge back in 7 years I've been in business, knock on wood. So that stuff gets close, that aging gets old. And I mean, I try to stay on top of those, and the conversations I'm having start to get more terse as they get older. But I mean, I've showed up to offices before, and you know, sometimes you just have to go to their office and sit down, and it's rare that someone's not going to pay you if you're looking them in the face.
No. We're asking about when it's actually happened, okay?
When it's actually happened,
how did you solve it? Give the guy a real story. You're a storyteller. Where someone just.
Well, I'm wondering what the circumstances are.
No. Yeah, give him.
Well, it gives him something to bite his teeth into.
I'll answer it because I'm also an experienced recruiter. It's never happened to me. I've never had somebody not pay me, except Jerry Kleeman, who did a split with me in Chicago, and she still owes me my half. Other than that, you don't work with companies that are going to have to write your check for your service out of their personal bank account. You don't want to be some company's first agency recruiter, first time they paid a fee. Work with larger, reputable companies, and you will get paid. It gets a little hairy when you've been payrolling a few software developers for 4 or 5 months, and you notice, oh, you haven't even paid any more than your first invoice, and you owe me $83,000. Are you shitting me?
Right.
Yeah.
So that's a different thing, but it's not about just not being paid. I mean, that's a whole other issue. Then you're dealing with a corporation going bankrupt, and that's freaky.
I'm lucky to say I haven't ever not gotten paid. I've gotten paid late. I've had to deal with that before. But like I know there was a company that was local that had, you know, basically stiffed one of my competitors in this market who, I mean, I know a lot of the folks in my market, and she's a friend. They stiffed her like $100,000 on, you know, a bunch of temps they had working, and that's a tough pill to swallow.
Yeah.
And I mean, we can all go back and say, okay, in retrospect, were they managing that AR well? Did they let it get out of hand? Like, who knows? Like, I don't know what happened, but it sucks, and I'm just. Yeah, and I don't know the details of it, but like, man, I'm just
you didn't give us
really
any
glad.
Details
just to look. Yes, he will.
I don't have it.
He said it hasn't happened to him.
No,
but here's another thought, Chris, and something that I learned. Here's something that I used to be the guy that I always look for that first payment from a customer to see what because I do a lot of. There's a few companies that they know that that's what you're going to do, and then they'll get that first payment knocked out. And then the next ones, they'll move you right into that 60-day mark or whatever.
60 to 90 to 120.
Well,
and if they don't hear from you, then they know they can.
Yeah,
like you basically train people how to treat you.
Okay, cool. The wheel is turning. They've paid my first one. It was 23 days or whatever, and then I won't look again. And I just a little.
Yeah.
I think and you know, Jerry, I think something that gives me an appreciation for that is as a business owner myself and sitting down having cash flow conversations each month and knowing what bills definitely have to get handled first on a tight month and stuff that I know I can push off a little and I have a little slack on. I know that everyone else is doing the same exact thing. So like the squeaky wheel gets the grease. So if I stay on top of that, so I totally understand what you're saying, and I'm fortunate that as an owner I have that perspective to look at.
Hey, that factoring company this year. They're costing you tens of thousands. You can do it internal.
Right.
What's that?
Your factoring company, whoever they are, get rid of them. You got to go in house.
Do it yourself. Do it yourself.
It costs you $50,000 a year.
These are important, interesting conversations. That's why I asked who's asking that question and what are the circumstances of what's going on, because we can't help unless we know.
Yeah, and I had one example, and to give you an example, because I know Animal likes those, I had a client who I had provided some IT temp staff to for a while, and he got to and I know the guy, and he got to the point where like he paid me on like the 89th day, and like he drove over to my office, gave me a check, and all throughout he was like, bear with me, Chris, I'm having like really rough cash flow issues and this that. I'm like, I know, you're putting me in a really awkward position, just so you know, and this and that. He paid me. Fortunately, it worked out for me. here's someone who now I've told him since, I'm like, listen, I can't put anybody else to work for you unless you like give me money up front, because we can't have that happen again. But this is somebody who sings my praises to like other he owns a technology company, and every time we're out at something or at some networking event or whatever, he's referred people to me. Like, he appreciates it, which I'm at least thankful for. I mean, it's nice to know that he at least appreciates the fact that I did that for him, and now he's trying to pay it back somehow, So I guess that was I don't think they all turn out that way, but.
Okay. Maureen Sherritt, Jerry Albright, Michael Cox, Kathy Manis, Lisa, I don't know your last name, Bella something or other, new listener, thank you. The guy who just asked that question, and our guest, and Josh Breckheisen, and our guest, what's your name? Chris Wessell, thank you!